Students, next we will see about single mode lasers. So here when I want to propagate the light for long distance communications, we need to go for single mode lasers there. Where a single mode lasers is going to consist of single longitudinal mode and single transverse mode there. So the spectral width of this optical emission should be very narrow. So how to restrict the laser to a single longitudinal mode is we can reduce the length of the lacing cavity. So when I reduce the length of the lacing cavity, the frequency separation between the adjacent modes is going to be increasing there. So here in this case, if the frequency spacing between the adjacent modes is going to increase, then in that case, we are going to have only a single longitudinal mode is going to fall within the gain bandwidth of the device there. So suppose for example, I am going to use a Fabry-Perot cavity where all the longitudinal modes are going to have nearly equal losses there, and these are going to be spaced about 1 nanometer in 250 millimeter long cavity at 1300 nanometers. So here in this case it will have equal losses. So suppose if I am going to reduce the length L from 250 millimeters, I am going to reduce the length to 25 millimeters. In that case, my mode spacing is going to increase from 1 nanometers to 10 nanometers there. So in this case, the lengths are going to make the device very hard to handle there. So in that case, they limit the optical output powers to only a few milliwatts. So here what we are going to do is we are going to go for a vertical cavity surface emitting laser there. So where in this vertical cavity surface emitting laser, the light emission is going to be perpendicular to the semiconductor surface. So here in this case, by using this light emission property, we can see that we can integrate multiple lasers onto a single chip. So here in this in 1 or 2 dimensional arrays. So where we can use it for your wavelength division multiplexing operations or applications there. So here the active region of the volume of these devices are going to be very small, which is going to have very low threshold currents, that is less than 100 milliamps. So for an equivalent output power which is going to be compared to that of an edge emitting lasers, the modulation bandwidth should be much greater there, so that your higher photon densities can reduce the radiative lifetimes. The mirror system is going to be used in vertical cavity surface emitting LEDs to form the resonant cavity. So which is going to be of critical importance there, because a maximum reflectivity is going to be required for efficient operation there. So here we can see that the light is going to be emitted perpendicular to the semiconductor surface. So here we are going to have then heat sink. This is going to be the mirror which is going to be incorporated into the laser, and we are going to have the heterodyne structure there, the resonant cavity. This is your p-type contact, and this is going to be the current blocking region, and this is your active region which is going to be made up of your indium gallium arsenide phosphide multi quantum well active region there. So in that case, when the light is going to be propagated, it is going to get reflected and it is going to be perpendicular to the semiconductor surface. So here we are going to have, it is a frequency selective reflector which is going to have a corrugated grating there. So here when I am going to have a corrugated grating, that is going to be, it is going to form a passive waveguide layer which is going to be adjacent to the active region there. So in that case, the light is going to propagate parallel to the grating there. So the operation of these type of layers are going to be called as distributed Bragg phase grating reflector there. So a phase grating is nothing but a region which is going to have a periodically varying refractive index, and which is going to cause two propagating waves traveling which is going to cause the two counter propagating waves traveling to the propagating traveling waves to couple there. So in this case, the coupling is going to be in distributed Bragg phase grating. You are going to have the coupling is going to be maximum for wavelengths which is going to be too close to that of the Bragg's wavelength there, that is lambda b, which is going to be related to the wedge of the corrugations there, that is the period between the corrugations. So lambda b is equal to 2Ne wedge divided by k, where Ne is nothing but the effective diffractive index of the mode, k is the order of the grating. So suppose if I am going to choose the first order grating, it is going to provide a stronger coupling there. But when I am going to go for second order grating, in that case there is going to be a larger corrugation period there, which is going to make the fabrication easier. So here in this case, the lasers which are going to be based on this architecture is going to have a single mode longitudinal operation with low sensitivity to drive current and temperature variations. That is your DFBs. So here in this case, we are going to have your in the distributed feedback laser, the grating for the wavelength selector is going to be formed over the entire active region there. But in an ideal DFB laser, the longitudinal modes are going to be spaced symmetrically around the Bragg's wavelength there, where it is going to be given as lambda is equal to lambda b plus or minus lambda b square by 2 ne le into m plus 1 by 2, where m is nothing but 0, 1, 2 is the mode order, le is going to be the effective grating length, and the amplitudes of the successive order. That is, when m is equal to 0, we can see that the gain is going to be higher there. And when I am going to go for higher order modes, when m is equal to 1, we can see that the amplitude of this lacing modes are going to be successively reduced. That is by 30 decibels down from the 0 order amplitude there. So here in this case, when m is equal to 0, we are going to have the maximum amplitude there. So next is we are going to go for the frequency selective laser diodes, that is the distributed feedback laser. So in a distributed feedback laser, which is going to have both the ends are going to be, both the ends are going to be anti-reflection coated, and the two zero order modes which are going to have on either side of this Bragg's wavelength will experience the same threshold gain there, and automatically it will lay simultaneously in the symmetralized structure there. So here you can see that this is the grating that is going to be present. The period between the gratings is going to be called as the wedge, and we are going to have the active pump region over the entire layer of the grating period there. So entire active layer we are going to have the grating to be present, and the waves are going to be traveling parallel to this grating concept there. So here in this case we can see that the randomness of the cleaving process is going to be the degeneracy. It is going to lift the degeneracy of this model gain, and it is going to result in the single mode operation there. So in a distributed, we are going to have the single mode operation to take place. So next is your frequency selective laser diodes. We are going to go for a distributed feedback laser reflector. So distributed feedback reflector is nothing but our Bragg's reflector. So what we are going to do is, we are going to introduce a phase shift of 5 by 2 at the center there. So in this case, we are going to have the corrugations to be present only on the end at the sides there. So in this case, the corrugations at the center of the optical cavity is going to have to make the oscillator to oscillate at Bragg's wavelength there. So in that case, the reflections are going to occur most effectively at this wavelength. So at the Bragg's reflector, only one wavelength, when the light is going to be pumped, only one wavelength will be reflected back, and the remaining all wavelengths will be refracted out there. So here this is your Bragg's reflector there. Next is your frequency selective laser diodes, where we are going to have your distributed reflector laser there. So in a distributed reflector laser, we are going to it is going to consist of an active region and a passive distributed reflectors there. So this structure is going to improve the lacing properties of your conventional distributed feedback laser and a distributed Bragg reflected lasers, and it is going to have a high efficiency and high output capability. Thank you.